Okay, folks, this one's a mystery as to what it is. I found it on my street, not far from where I live. Let's see how we go with this. We're not going two colour. We're going to go single colour, and we're going to select a colour that'll be really nice. Maybe brown, even though we don't normally use it. Haven't used it for a while. It's not as good as the brown they had on the old C353, which was a really nice particular kind of brown that I really liked. This version's a bit shitty. This looks more like shit. Going to make it a negative image for this. So we can find it. Fuck, negative, positive is elsewhere. This user interface can be a little bit troublesome. Okay, let's see what we have to demo with. It is some piece of plastic. What the fuck is this? It is an interesting curiosity. We're going to utilise, I think, this side. Put it face down. An interesting piece indeed. It looks almost like a piece of sculpture already without intending on being a sculpture. I don't know how it's going to look, folks. Yeah, that's come up looking quite interesting. As a brown piece of shit. Trying to see which way I'm going to run it. I do think that could be turned a bit. Turn it this way, I think. Make it a bit more level. Yeah, that's a better positioning. Looks a bit crooked, but I think that should run nicely. I actually think I might have to maybe make this positive image because we don't want to chew up too much black toner. Unfortunately, it looks like the black toner is going to go out early soon, and basically I've got to have enough toner to last me over the Anzac Day holiday. Get rid of that negative because I've got to keep performing my demos as much as I can, folks. I'm not interested in stopping. I just can't. I don't have any relatives or family members that served as Anzacs. All due respect, it's a very solemn and important time on the Australian calendar to remember those who had fallen. But I must admit, I just don't have any interest because I don't have any relatives, folks. I actually don't have anyone in my family that's actually served. Oh, that's too light. So none of my family or relatives have served in any, from what I know, in any conflict. So, all due respect, folks, I know it's an important time and that, but I don't have time to deal with that. trying to get in touch with a lost partner. His name is Luigi. And I'm trying to get on the 6 o'clock news to find him. And I just don't feel I have time to do much else but to make these demos. And they're really, it takes up most of my time that I don't have, that I'm not doing it when I'm at work. Okay, we're going to make that into a negative. Going to change it from brown to full colour. But yeah, I just don't have time. I just can't commit myself to anything else but to do these demos. This photocopier, incidentally, has finally reached its 5-year date. It just may not be. I don't know how long it's going to be in commission for. So I have to be ready for when it finally can't get spare parts, and therefore I can't have a service agreement, and therefore I have to pay for everything that happens, the tone of the servicing, and I can't afford it if it breaks. So I have to fucking do what I can with what I've got. I'm not rich enough to take out a second bank loan. This bank loan won't finish until the 6th year, which is a real pain in the bum. But, you know, that's just the way things are. Money fuckery, the love of money in the world. Indeed, so many people love to fuck the money in the photocopier industry and the banking industry are no exceptions. Everything's about money these days. If you haven't got much money, you're not accepted in society. You're not fucking able to do what you want. It's just a load of shit, really. I think 104 is too small. 104 is too small. I think it's 140. Fuck it. Did I fucking put it on negative positive? I don't know if I remembered. I did. Okay. But yeah, the photocopier industry's full of shit anyway. They just want you to buy more equipment to make more money, and people like me are not rich enough to do that. Even if it does become a necessity. I really get annoyed with the industry the way that it is. Maybe a little bit less on the horizontal and more on the vertical. Yeah, I just get annoyed at the way things are. Everything's about money and everything's about fucking, you know, you got to have money, you got to have this, you got to have that. It's all so fucking materialistic. And I've got relatives who absolutely spurn the idea of having an internet connection, and yeah. And they ended up having to have an internet connection even though they don't use it. They hate technology, and I can understand why. Even though I'm a person who is into technology and I use it, it's basically a tool of trade for me. I have a need for it, as well as an interest in it. And photocopiers are my main, as you can see, are my main interest. I want to redesign the photocopier someday when they have technology to fix the damage done to my brain. The disability that stops me from learning and stops me from working in a normal job, stops me from doing this and that. And that's kind of looking really quite nice with that turquoise shading to it. But basically I really find the world so annoying, the way people are so obsessed with money. The love of money has just taken over the world by storm, and if you're not in it, you're not with it, you're not accepted. You know, you can't do this, you can't do that. You can't even fucking get to sleep if you're a fucking person who's homeless and happens to be rough sleeping. And you can't even have a fucking good night's sleep without being harassed, without being potentially killed. Your throat slit for fucking your puny amount of cash that you managed to get off the rich fuckers on the street in the city. And you're fucking trying to get money to stay in a bloody motel room, to get clean and to have a bit of a respite from the street. It's not fucking right, folks. Why should people be reduced to begging and shit? And then they try to banking institutions and that want to stop cash. They want to make society a cashless society, which is really wrong. We should have cash. We should have the availability of cash. This is what the homeless people, or should I say the rough sleepers, survive on, is cash. Most of them don't have a fucking key card. Not fair, folks, but no, poor are less important, I guess, to the rich. They couldn't care less if they lived or died. They'd probably prefer them if they die. They treat the fucking homeless like they're fucking pests. That's not right. How would you feel if it was you that watching this, if you were one of the homeless, one of the people thrown on the street, like domestic violence, for example? How would you feel then? No, that wouldn't be good enough. That's come up looking quite nice. I think we can now call this demo quits.